Hey guys, it's Vaxx, and have I got a wonderful story for you. It's about Sloppy Joes, though, so you can't really go wrong, right? Ugh. Anyways, this gameplay is Search and Destroy. I typically don't play Search and Destroy, but I figured, it just came in on the 15th, so what the hell. Jumped in, and I did really well myself, but most of this is, it's a team of 3 versus 6, and one guy is like AFK the entire time, I think, or he just dies the entire time, and the other guy keeps picking up the damn bomb pack after we need to do the plants, and makes life very difficult for me. But I actually go flawless the first 2 rounds. In the first round, I get like 5 kills and 0 deaths. I get all of my kill streaks. I completely screw up on the Trinity rocket. It wasn't my fault, though. They kind of ran into cover, and I can't blame them for that. So I did pretty good, and it was a fun game, and I seemed to do really well. Don't even have a class for Search and Destroy either, too. This is literally my normal assault rifle class. I did nothing, didn't change anything, so I'm running with my Fad, which is definitely one of my favorite assault rifles, with silencer and foregrip, and I'm running Stalker, Focus, and Amplify, and a couple other things like that. Anyways, on to what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, my wonderful story. So my wife has been talking to me for several years now about how awesome her Sloppy Joes are. Now, I've only had Sloppy Joes once in my life, believe it or not, and they weren't good, and they also weren't sloppy. I expected a mess. It was very average. There's barely any meat in them at all. It was just mostly like a little bit of soggy bun kind of thing. It was really nothing to write home about. So finally, my wife goes and she says she's gonna make Sloppy Joes for dinner. So we got all the stuff for it and everything, and I'm like, okay, sweet. And she talked it up all day long. So I'm sitting here and I'm editing actually this video, because I was actually going to use this video for a different commentary that was going to go up last night, where I was going to talk about all the hacking that's going on in Ghosts, because there's a lot of it still, and it's really, really irritating. Especially, you have to leave the game too, because it's a hacked game, because I don't want to stay in a hacked game, and, I take the loss. Anyway, so I'm sitting there and I'm editing away, and she starts swearing up a storm all of a sudden. I thought she burned herself on the stove. Nope. She, on a can of tomato paste, and I mean like one of the small cans. It was a half-filled one. She had it in the freezer because she didn't use all of it, so she figured that she was going to go and just kind of use it up. For some reason, she cut out one end, like the end that wasn't cut, so that she could push it out because it was still a bit frozen, but she didn't cut the lid all the way off or something, and went and pushed it in, and she damn near cut off her finger, or her thumb, I should say. And from here, I'm going to show you guys some pictures and explain the whole process, what we went through. So if you are squeamish and you don't like the sight of blood and don't want to see the inside of somebody's thumb, this is where you should shut off the video, because I'm going to start showing them in like 5 seconds. Okay, so if you're not gone, that's your own fault. Anyway, so she filleted her thumb, literally from the knuckle just below the thumb, the thumbnail, all the way to the next knuckle. And this was like right down to the bone too. Like, she made a actual fillet. Like, if you think about filleting a chicken breast, this is what she did to her thumb, as you can see from the pictures I'm starting to put up now. Blood everywhere. She was actually quite calm about it afterwards, but she's like, yeah, we gotta go to the hospital. And yeah, and we have 2 kids too, and somehow my oldest son, who's 3, didn't freak out at all, and he asked if he could have a boo-boo too, but I don't even want to figure out what that was about. So we end up having to go to the hospital, and we are waiting. I think we waited about 3 hours before we saw anybody but the triage nurse. You guys hear a lot about how great the medical system is in Canada. It does have its benefits, and it is fairly good somewhat. And I mean, like, a lot of stuff is free, but some of the wait times are just insane. And, the wound actually closed up a little bit, and they had to reopen it as we waited, because, I told her I got her wrapped up and everything, and holding it to keep pressure on the wound and everything, and it actually started to heal on him. And so we get there, we're waiting 3 hours, and the only thing we've seen is a triage nurse, and the only thing she did, and the only thing she can do, is she sprayed some saline on it. I was like, well, good job, you got it wet. And so we finally get in, we see the doctor, and and everything. Well, the nurse was going to do it. She saw how bad it was. Turned out she severed one of the tendons in her thumb 80% of the way through. And the kicker for this, too, is my wife's a tattoo artist. She needs her hands really, really bad. And so she's all worried, and that was just fun. But it's only 80% of the way through, and there are 2 tendons on the top of the thumb. They control extension and retraction and range of motion and stuff like that. So she had to get that sutured up, and here's what it looks like there, and everything. And tendons back together. She gets all stitched up. Doctor comes back in because she's got to have a splint on her thumb so that she can't move it too much. And he goes, we used the wrong stitch. Well, what do you mean you used the wrong stitch? He sewed the tendon together with the wrong type of stitches. He used the dissolvable kind, which he can't use. It won't heal properly or as well with the kind of stitch he used. So he actually had to cut all this open, take out the stitch that was in the tendon, re-stitch the tendon after refreezing her, which took a lot too. Like, they pumped her full of the freezing agent they used. I'm not sure which one it was. And so he had to go in, re-stitch the tendon again with the proper one, and then he had to re-stitch the thumb back together. And the problem was, too, is she actually ended up with more stitches the second time on the outside, because by this time she's had so many fingers inside of her thumb that this thing is swollen to all hell. I mean, it was just brutal. And so every time he sewed one side, the other side would give a little bit, and, you know, like, there was fat coming out. So he actually ended up trimming some fat out of her thumb and everything, too. So she got a little bit of liposuction, and she just had a baby, so she was pretty happy about that. You know, she was a couple, I don't know how much lighter, but hey, you know, that kind of made her day. So, yeah, now she's on some hardcore antibiotics to prevent infection, because, you know, they don't want gangrene or anything. And we got to go see a plastic surgeon and everything to make sure everything's healing right. And she's going to have a wicked scar on her thumb. It's kind of in the shape of a smile on a smiley face, except like a really deep, like, U-shaped smiley face. This thing is going to look pretty darn gnarly when it does heal. But, you know, she's a tattoo artist. She has lots of tattoos. I told her just to tattoo a smiley face on it, maybe give the scar some lipstick or something, I don't know, and kind of go from there with that. By the way, guys, I apologize, and you missed the knife here, because I did a really good knife on that spot. I don't know what's up with my capture card. It was just kind of really glitching out on me here throughout this whole gameplay. It was only this one, I think, too. So I don't know what's going on with that. And the one death I do get in this game, too, I was just like, hey, let's go a different way. And yeah, it wasn't a smart idea. I got smoked pretty quick. I don't even know what happened to that guy that time. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed the video here. It's coming to a close. If you have any questions about anything that went on. Oh, and I did actually get the Sloppy Joes today. She made them for lunch. She finished it. Here they are. Love that woman. Go her. What a trooper. I almost forgot the best part of the story. I did get the Sloppy Joes, and guess what, guys? They were awesome. And I had 2 of them. Well, 1.5. I couldn't finish the second one because there was a lot of damn meat in there. So make sure, guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any, and make sure to leave a like and save a taco. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow.